So this is the final installment in the What is Spiritual Direction series. And in this video, what I want to do is to walk you through what a typical spiritual direction session looks like. And I'll be speaking primarily about what sessions with me look like, but my hope is that by the end of this, you have some kind of sense of what to expect if you were to go to spiritual direction with anybody. So most directors will start with some kind of centering practice at the beginning of the session. I myself like to do some kind of body scan meditation because I think it's absolutely crucial that the body be completely on board with whatever we're doing spiritually. I think it's helpful to take some time to settle into the sacred space and to become aware with every faculty of the transition from the rest of their day to what's happening now. And then from there, if it's the first session, I'll do a little bit of intake to see what their spiritual background is and what they're specifically looking for in spiritual direction. And then from that information, it can go a number of ways. It can take a more traditional talk therapy sort of feel, as far as just processing through things that have happened or spiritual matters that they want to discuss. And then my goal there is to help them make connections in what they're saying to be able to cohesively integrate their spiritual understanding into the rest of their lives. Sometimes that'll lead me to adopt specific modalities, including HeartSync, which is a meditation practice for integrating the mind and the heart and the body as well. I also do something called body discernment. If somebody is having trouble deciding between different paths, it's a great way to bring the full person into the decision-making process and to really learn about the more subconscious responses to different choices that the person could make. And that's such a big part of the joy of doing spiritual direction, at least as far as I'm concerned, because obviously everybody is so different. It's so fun meeting with somebody and figuring out what approach is going to work best for them. If they're more cerebral or imaginative, HeartSync is a great choice because it engages the imagination. If they're more tactile, body discernment is so aggressively physical. If they just need somebody to process with and navigate with, that's the absolute heart of spiritual direction. So no matter who you go to, you're going to find that. There also is a dimension of spiritual direction that is very instructive. For the most part, that takes a back seat because the intimate listening and processing is really the central piece of spiritual direction. I would say that the role of the spiritual director is first and foremost helping the person connect with either the divine or whatever ultimate truth that they are drawn to. But spiritual directors also are very experienced spiritually and have learned a ton about different faith backgrounds and spiritual practices. And so another part of spiritual direction that I love is helping people find new practices that they can adopt. If they've been doing some kind of spiritual practice for a long time and it's just become stale or rote, being able to offer up new opportunities to engage with the divine in fresh ways. And that leads to so much joy and creativity and vitality. So my goal by the end of the session is that the person feels some degree more in tune with what their primary beliefs are and how they can better integrate that into the rest of their life. And that they have some kind of spark of creativity for new ways to continue pressing into their spirituality, and have some degree of increased vitality in exploring and navigating and constantly unpacking the possibilities for their spiritual practice. So the session can end in prayer or more silence or not. It really just depends on what the feel is at that point. Sometimes I'll give homework, but it's really more of an invitation than an assignment, if it's a new practice or something like that. just something to explore between the time that we meet again. I absolutely love talking about spiritual direction, and I'm open to any questions that you may have. You can ask it in the comments or on social media. So if there's anything specific that you want me to cover in a future video as well, I'd be more than happy to take suggestions. So in the meantime, I hope you are well, and more than anything, I encourage you to keep that spiritual curiosity alive.